Uh, it's just gonna be a tips and tricks video, very short and sweet. I'm not gonna fucking dave you. So basically what you wanna do is you wanna go in and pick a server that is best fitted to your, well, ping. Lowest amount of ping would be the best server to play on. So I'm just gonna play on the North America servers. Yep. Okay, new right into the starting menu area thing. You'll see that there's a couple tabs up here. You'll have a run, you can see what they are: crowns, skulls, and scrap, your level, and then your account name. Up here will be your party, and then over here is your daily challenges. So you can get a boost for your daily challenges, which costs crowns, which is, you have to buy them, but everything else you'll get every, I believe it's 24 hours you get a new daily challenge, and then of course these like other challenges and whatnot. There'll be a message of the day down here, pretty straight, short and sweet. You'll see your player model here, which you can customize your gear, everything. You can customize all of your weapons, pretty much everything, rides and emotes as well. So you can bind whatever F key you want to be a certain emote. If we go to your career stats, you can actually see your top 10 matches for this season. Like I've got 2 wins this current season. It's season 1, the first official season, where the game is now free to play, which is pretty cool. Almost diamond, whatnot. You'll see your end of the season rewards is like 1,000 skulls and a crown. You'll see your average placement and kills, and then your current rank, which I have Platinum 1. You can even go and look at the leaderboards to see who's royalty. Like Carta right now is the #1 in the world with 10 wins, whatnot. Okay, bouncing out of there and going into settings. First off, what I recommend doing is getting comfortable mouse sensitivities for your for your style, I guess. Next thing I would recommend doing is getting a nice crosshair. I personally play with the dot, and I believe, yeah, reticle is down here. I personally play with all red because it's the most, it's out there, and you don't really see it too much. You can get joystick sensitivities and stuff if you play with the joystick. Mess around with the camera setting as well, because it is really nice. Sprint toggle, all that nice stuff if you want it. HUD map, you can even turn off the mini map, player names, compass, all this other stuff, and whatnot. So then going to key bindings. On foot, I would recommend making your medical 1 and medical 2 Q and E. That's basically what they've been for a long time, and making your interact button F. Right now I believe the interact is E, and then the medical 2 is F. By the way, medical 1 and 2 are basically your bandages and tactical medkits. Your bandages will automatically go to slot Q, and tactical medkits will automatically go to slot 3. Bandages will go to slot 1, and medkits will go to slot 2. That's all there is to it. You can look down all of these settings, change them how you want. General, I would recommend also putting a proximity voice chat, making a button for that, that you use a lot, because a lot of players in game, especially if you're new to the game, which this is mostly based towards, you might want to say GG after a good fight or something like that. General, I would recommend changing your resolution to something that's stretched, like either be 1440 by 900, 1440 by 1050, or 16 by 900. One of those. You can set your overall quality. Most players who take the game seriously put all their qualities on low, because it'll give you the highest amount of frame rate. Render distance, I would recommend going into your key bindings. I believe it's on general. Yeah, if you want to render distance decrease and increase, I have mine set to the brackets. So if I'm ever dropping in, I can look across the map pretty much. Okay. Going into marketplace here, you can see your crates, all the crates that you own. You can open them for whatever you want. You can preview skins, all that good stuff. Buy crates. If you look at so if you buy guaranteed, it's 5 crates, 1,500, or yeah, and it's 1 uncommon skin or better. So you'll get a guaranteed uncommon skin. You'll get like a guaranteed rare and uncommon, and then an ultra rare. Ultra rares are these ones on the top. So like that mask, this ARV, and that gun. Those are all ultra rares. Okay, so once you're done with that, you can go to play solo duos or fives. You can go to hosted games as well, which there aren't currently any. Combat Zone, which I'm not going to go into, and events, which hasn't gone on for a minute now. And you can also play the new Auto Royale, which is pretty much, well, that's its own thing on its own. It's a fun game mode that most people are playing the game for, but I would recommend doing it. So right now we're going to go into Combat Zone just so I can show you a few things in game. Alright, so now that we're in Combat Zone, you can see I'm just gonna run over here so nobody's gonna be fighting me. But you've got 3 slots basically, and you'll have a 4th slot right here. It's your number 4 key by default, and it's basically your throwables. So if you ever pick up a grenade or a smoke grenade or a flashbang or whatever it may be, you can use that. There's 2 types of backpacks in the game, which I can't show you the other one, but this is what the military backpack looks like. Drop all this crap so I can put it on the ground for you. This is what the military backpack looks like. It'll look like that on the ground, and it's basically the bigger backpack of the 2 backpacks. So you do want to use it whenever you can and whatnot. So right now I'm just getting shot at, but I try to. Yeah, I see a lot of players also whenever they go into these combat zones, is they're almost full spraying with their AR. So like for example, I've used it on this guy, they go like this, which that's not actually how you're supposed to shoot in H1. They made it like that on purpose. And so if you do want to shoot in H1, what you should do is, I'll show you here. That guy just shit on my ass, but we'll show you here. Is you want to tap. You want to tap fire. So shoot like that. And of course, there's 2 main rifles that you'll find in the game. There's a sniper rifle that I'll get into later, but there's 2 main rifles that you will be using in the game. So you tap. The crosshair will reset and whatnot. So if you are fighting somebody, don't full spray. Don't just hit the mouse one as fast as you can. That's not how you do it, pretty much. And just to point out something right there, that little like dink sound that you got, that's me popping that guy's helmet. So I popped his helmet, so that basically that's something that will happen to you pretty common if you're fighting somebody who's more skilled than you. They'll likely pop your helmet once or twice. Just to talk about cars when we're in one here. Vehicle keys, you do want to get the keys out of the car if you use them. So if you want to like use a car, pretty much you want to grab the keys out of it. Otherwise somebody can run up and will drive your car around as much as they please with no consequences. They can take the keys out of the car and then guess what, you don't have the car anymore. And so yeah, to get into the different, like what's different about the guns, I guess is what you would call it, is well, there's the AR, which is, I prefer it for my long range fights. I carry about 150 rounds in a solos game, and then I carry 150 rounds of AK as well. And that'll usually last me the entire game. I'm usually not using more than 150 shots per game, plus 30 in the clip, I guess. So, basically, AR's reset time is a lot longer. It's a lot longer than the AKs, but the AK's reset time is a lot. So, like, the AK reset time is a lot faster, so you can shoot faster with it. I don't know if you can really tell the difference there, like, at all. Yeah, it's so the AK is preferred for longer range. Okay, so the sniper rifle now. I'll get into it. Not that anybody who's new should be really going for it, but I do recommend using it, or like where to practice it is combat zone, because they give it to you sometimes. So we got the sniper rifle now. It's it's a 3-way rifle, and it's a 1 shot to the head and a 2 shot to any person in the body. And so basically there's very minimal bullet drop or delay on this thing, so you're really able to shoot at almost any range. And so, like, this guy, shot him in the head, he's dead, pretty much. If you do want to use a sniper rifle, whenever you scope in, when you scope in on somebody, hold shift. It makes it a whole lot easier to lock onto their head. And it does have a pretty long reload time, so you don't need to reload after every shot. It's not fucking Call of Duty, for Christ's sake. Here we go, over here.
Oh my
Okay.
god, no scope.
Nice job, nice job. That guy just no-scoped me. That was a nice shot. Proud of that. It's cool. But yeah, that's really all there is for combat-wise. Of course, there's different maneuvers and mechanics that you'll use with cars, like holding spacebar in a car will drift you. So if you want to go around a corner like this, for example, really quick, you could drift around it, and it'll look like a badass or whatnot. A lot of people use their cars in fights for cover. So like, I don't know, if you're a new player, you've probably encountered this, somebody will pull up to you and they'll drive their car sideways, and they will, oh wow, they'll drive their car sideways, and then they'll get out, and they'll have cover on the other side of their car, and then you won't. That's a really common method, and that's how most AR fights do take place. That being said, though, I mean, if you're new, there's no shame in running from a fight. From somebody who's a lot better than you. That being said, take every fight you possibly can, because it is the only way to get better at this game. Combat zone, as fun as it is, it literally offers no actual value to the game except for sniper, I'd say. But if you want to improve your aim or get on here to warm up, go ahead for it. Another tip for a car is you can actually, if you're in the passenger seat of a car, you can actually shoot. So that's, yeah. So if you're in the passenger seat of a car, you can actually shoot, which is a good tip to know, because I don't ever see people using it too often. But if you're also able to, in a car, okay, never mind. When you're in a car, you're also able to, like, they will be adding it in soon, you'll be able to seat swap. So if you hold control and press 2, 3, 4, 1, whatever it is, you're able to swap seats in your car. So, like, if, say you were fighting a guy and you wanted to get a jump on him, you could seat swap into the passenger seat and just shoot him. It'll be interesting to see how it works. And I can't actually give you any examples of it because that's not in the game yet, but they are adding it in very soon. Let me think of another tip for a car, I guess. If you get you can actually store stuff in a car. So like personally, whenever I'm driving around, I will store like usually a helmet or two in my car. I'll store like a helmet in my car, so say if I'm driving away and somebody pops my helmet, I can just put a new one out of my car in. So that way I can just continue to drive around and whatnot. Know that you take bleed damage in this game, so if you get hit once, it's not like PUBG. I know a lot of you guys are coming from PUBG, but it's not like PUBG where if you get hit once, you are like, you're instantly okay. You don't take bleed damage, but in this game you do take bleed damage, so know that. Ugh. So you'll see it. I'll try to get hit. Everybody hits me. There's a sniper. You'll see down in the bottom of your UI, right down here, there'll be like a little bleed symbol, like a blood drop looking thing. And once there are none of those, that's when you're not bleeding. And so basically, with the blood drop thing, is one bandage will give you one bandage will take away one blood drop. So if you use a bandage, which would be like hotkey Q, if you use a bandage, it'll take 2 seconds, and then that'll be one blood gone, and it'll also regen you by 10 HP. That being said, though, if you're still bleeding, that 10 HP will go pretty quickly, depending on how much bleed you've got. And so, like, 3 bleed is the max bleed, but 3 bleed is the max bleed, and 1 bleed is the minimum bleed. 3 bleed will, I believe it does, like, it'll do, like, 1 damage almost every second. It's really, really, really quick. And so, you want to get bandages off as quick as you can. Whenever you're using a med kit, however, med kit will it'll give you, I believe, 60 HP total, and it'll stop all bleeding once it's used. And then there's one other med in the game, it's called Procoagulant, and it actually gives you no HP regen, but it stops all bleeding instantly, and it's really quick to use. So I wouldn't recommend making them because they're almost useless. If somebody hits you, they're still going to chase you, even if you do use a procoagulant and whatnot. So, I mean, that's really most of the tips I can give you. And the rest of them will just be combat-wise, and just play the game. I always see a lot of people proning in bushes and whatnot, and that's not how you play this game, just so you know. You don't want to hide. You don't want to crouch, really, ever, unless it's in a fight. And it's all about skill. You'll probably, if you're new to the game, you will get shit on by a lot of people, a whole lot of the time. It's the biggest thing in the game, pretty much. You also want to learn, like, basically that you will get better at the game as time goes on, and also to go for headshots. Headshots are your biggest friend in this game. That being said, though, they're not easy to hit. If you pop somebody's helmet, it's an instant 30 HP, and they're bleeding times 1. So it hurts a lot to get your helmet popped, and so if you pop somebody's helmet even twice in a fight, you're winning that fight usually. The other, like, biggest thing I can get you is say GG to people. They'll usually, like me personally, whenever I find somebody new to the game, I'll see them in solos. If I don't usually kill them right away. I'll talk to them, be like, yo, give them a tip or two. Tell them, like, how it is, and then, like, it always helps whenever, like, I was beginning to play this game, people always would tell me how to play and whatnot, give me a tip or two. And so, if you're, like, an older player watching this, maybe you're returning, I see a lot of returning players, but, if you're a returning player watching this, and you see a new guy or something, let him know. Just give him a little tip. Tell him what he did wrong, basically, in the fight. If that being said, if you lost the fight, you could sit there and scream at him. But yeah. Anyways, that'll be it for this video. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Good luck slaying out, bros.